to join us, but I'm just going to go ahead and start. Since you guys are on here, we might as well just start. So I don't know if you guys had a chance yet to get the list of 20 ways to find properties. If you have it, I will make sure that after this chat that I put the link in the den and you guys can download it so that you guys have it, the 20 ways to find investment properties. So, you know, this list took me 7 years to create because when I started in real estate, I wasn't finding the amount of deals that were going to really make me money, right? So I was closing a deal here and there, but it wasn't enough to keep me flowing every month. So I had to kind of come up with out-of-the-box ways to find properties, and that's how I got this list going because, you know, we had, of course, a deal. You have to have a motivated seller to have any kind of a deal. So we definitely... Oh, good. I'm glad you have it, Karen. Floyd, I'm hoping that you do have it. If not, like I said, I'll put the link in the den so that you guys have the list of 20 ways to find properties. Now, I have used each one of those, but I don't expect you to use all of them. What I'm hoping you're going to do is find one that works for you and then run with it, because it's better to find one that actually works and then perfect that one instead of jumping around the list from one to the other, because you're just going to drive yourself crazy. And tonight, I don't know if you can hear in the background, but I actually have my granddaughter because my daughter took my grandson to urgent care because his ear was hurting. So I do have my granddaughter. So if you hear some noise in the background, it is her. I do have my granddaughter tonight. So you might hear her in the background a little bit, so I apologize for that. But then again, my daughter took my grandson to urgent care because his ear was hurting. My network connection seems to be having a problem too. But anyway. Okay, so we're going to go through the list of 20 ways to find properties, okay? So when I went through the list, let's see, where am I? Where's my list? Okay. The first one on the list is bandit signs, right? Something that I don't do personally. I tried it in the past, but it was something that never really worked for me. Bandit signs, I don't know. It's just something about here where I live in New Jersey. I live by the Jersey Shore. And there's bandit signs on every corner, right? I mean, everybody has bandit signs up. There's so many of them at every corner. It kind of looks like bandit sign heaven. I didn't want to put mine within the mix. Plus, the townships here, with which your townships may as well, they're actually illegal to put up. So many people, what they do is they put them up over the weekend while the township buildings are closed, and then they pull them down on Monday. I have known people that have actually gotten fined for putting bandit signs up. So I don't do them. I kind of steer away from them. But if you want to do them and you're in an area where you think you'll benefit from them, then absolutely, you know, you can go ahead and do the bandit signs. And then the other one is, let me make sure nobody's requesting here. Okay. The next one was the classified ads on Craigslist. Now, here's what I do. On Craigslist, what I used to do, and sometimes I do it still, is I put the We Buy Houses ads on Craigslist, basically stating that, you know, that I buy houses, any condition, and I offer cash and I close fast. And, you know, I offered those, but what happened is through the years, people, I think, got immune to those because so many wholesalers were using them since the whole big wholesaling bang started in 2009, that a lot of sellers became immune to them in my area. But in your area, they may work. So if you want to put an ad on Craigslist that says, you know, I buy houses cash, any condition, I close fast, you know, whatever your situation is, you can put an ad on Craigslist and you can find properties that way. I have found properties that way in the past. I actually found two properties. I think they were estate properties that I found back in 2011. And I found them on Craigslist just by putting the We Buy Houses ad on Craigslist, and I was able to close those deals. So that did work for me. The next one, number 3 in the 20 ways, was vehicle magnet signs. Now, we have these vehicle magnet signs on our trucks. And all it is you can go to, like, online, you have Vistaprint, right? Vistaprint, you can order the magnets that go on the side of your truck or on the side of your car. And all it really says is that we buy houses cash, right? So sometimes, and with a number, now I do suggest that you don't use your own personal number for those or any of these ads. You want to try to get a Google Voice number You can look that up, just Google Voice, and it'll help you set up a Google Voice number that you can use on your bandit signs or on your ads or on your magnets for your trucks, because that way you're not giving out your own personal phone number, but instead you're giving out a Google Voice number, but that number is connected or linked to your own personal number. So even though they're not getting your real number, which you don't want out there, they're getting a Google Voice number, which is a number that does connect to your phone. Like you'll get a message that says you have a message in Google Voice. So that's what I suggest you use going forward with all of these advertisements. Now back to the magnets. The magnets on the side of the trucks are just like regular they're just square magnets. You can get them in different sizes. And you put them, and they stick right to your car or your truck to the side door, and it just basically says that we buy houses cash or whatever you want it to say. And sometimes you can get leads through those as well. The next one that we're going to go through is, of course, the business cards. You know, give your business cards, get them, again, Vistaprint is the cheapest that I found. Well, not really, because now I found Walmart also prints business cards, and they're pretty reasonable. But business cards, give your business cards to everybody, because you never know who knows somebody that wants to sell a property, right? Or you never know who might come in contact with somebody who knows somebody that just passed away. Maybe the people need to sell the house. So by giving your card out to everybody that you meet and letting them know that you buy houses, that's definitely going to get the word out. Just in case, like, say they come across somebody and they can say, wait, yeah, I know somebody that can help you out with that, somebody that can buy this house, you know, here's their number. So give your business cards out to whoever you know or you meet, because you never know who is going to need that business card and when. I've closed properties from my business cards. Actually, I closed a property by giving my business card to a pizza driver. Because guess what? Pizza delivery people, they know the neighborhoods, right? They know the vacant houses. They know the neighborhoods. They know where they're driving around. So what I used to say to them is, here's my card. You know, and I pay for referrals. So if you know anybody that wants to sell a house, or you know of a vacant property, I'll give you $1,000 if I buy that property. And that kind of gives them the motivation to start looking for me, right? So I actually did close a house through one of my business cards that I gave to a pizza delivery guy, which was pretty awesome. Okay, so okay, let's see. And you guys have any questions on these? Just post them here so that I can answer them as I'm going along. The next one on the list is door hangers. Now, these are pretty cool, and I'll tell you, they're like, if you've ever seen them, they're like the little pieces of paper that have the cutout for the handle of the doorknob. So what you would do with those, like say you have vacant properties in your area that you know nobody's living in. Well, sometimes I'll put my door hangers on there, because it could be an estate lead or an estate property, right? Or it might be an REO or a foreclosure. But if it's an estate property, then I'm going to be able to directly contact these people, because I put my door hanger on the door of the house. So that way, if they come across it and they see it and they say, wait, this person wants to buy the house, and they connect that way. So door hangers you can get from Vistaprint as well. And like I said, all they are is little square cardboard papers that you would hang on the doorknob that says, I buy houses cash, or, you know, whatever you feel that you want it to say, put your number on there, and you never know if you're going to get a call from that. Number 6 is wear your message. What that is just like t-shirts, jackets, like my guys on my contracting team. I also own a construction business, so all of my guys have t-shirts, right? So the front of the t-shirt has our logo on it from our company, but on the back of the t-shirt, it does say we buy houses, and it has a number. So if you wear your message, and here's what I do. I'll wear these t-shirts if I go to like flea markets, or if I'm walking around public fairs, or if I'm going to, you know, places, carnivals. I'll actually wear the sweatshirt or the t-shirt that says we buy houses on the back, because you won't even know how many people have come up to me and asked me questions about the message on the back of my shirt. So wearing your message is a great way to try to get some leads, you know, by getting t-shirts made up or sweatshirts made up. Driving for dollars is number 7. Now, driving for dollars, all that is really you're driving around different neighborhoods and you're looking for vacant houses. You're going to drive around, you're going to find a vacant house, you're going to write down the address, and you're going to, when you go home, you're going to research that property, see if you can find the owner in tax records, like we talked about in the Mastering Wholesaling. Every county has tax records. Most of them are online. So if you go into your county property tax records and you find the link and you put this address in, most likely you're going to be able to find the owner to the house. And sometimes they'll have, like, it might be an out-of-state owner, or they'll have a different address, and you'll be able to mail them a letter stating your interest in the property. So that's a good way to, driving for dollars is a great way to find vacant properties and then go ahead and contact the owner. So driving for dollars, I actually found a lot of properties before the foreclosure the foreclosure market tanked in my area. A lot of properties, a couple of them, I found some estate sales within, just driving for dollars. So that's number 7. Number 8 is flyers. Post flyers in your supermarket. Have flyers made up. Again, Vistaprint is a good place. Have flyers made up that say, I buy houses cash, the whole schmeal, whatever you want it to say with your number. Hang them in laundromats, hang them in grocery stores. Of course, ask first, but, hang them where you think people can see them, because sometimes people, and a lot of times if you make up the flyers, but you have the little rip-off numbers there, that works really well because people can just tear off the number and walk away with it. So flyers are a good way to get the message out there. And one thing also that's not on this list because it's kind of new is, if you ever seen in grocery stores where the shopping cart has an advertisement on it, right? Well, you have to pay for them, of course, but sometimes having those advertisements right on the shopping cart while people are shopping is a great way to get their attention, to let people know that you buy houses, right? So that's another great way to go ahead and let people know that you buy. I just want to check and make sure nobody's trying to get into the den here. So that's another way to definitely get the word out. So shopping carts, I don't know if your grocery stores do it, but here, like, the front seat of the shopping cart has an advertisement in it, and you can put your advertisement in there. Another thing is, I don't know if some of your diners, right? I know here our diners have placemats with advertisements on them, right? They're paper. Okay, you're trying to get in where, Jay? Let me know where you're trying to get in, honey, because I don't know if I can see you anywhere. So it says you're trying to get in. I don't know where you're trying to get in at, because I don't see any requests here, Jay, so let me know. But apparently you're on the chat, so I don't know how you got on the chat if you're not in the den. Okay, so yes, like the placemats in the diners, yes, you have to pay a fee for that advertising, but what a better way to advertise but a placemat at the diner where people are just sitting down eating, and there you are, right there, it says we buy houses. So that's another great way, to advertise that we buy houses. What else do we have? Website marketing. Create a website that says we buy houses. If you don't want to put your number on some of these things, you can put a website address on there, direct people to your page. I don't know how creative you are creating websites or have somebody develop one for you, but you can take people to a page that says, a website maybe that has we buy houses, have a little application there that they could fill out, ask them questions, so a website, you can definitely drive people to a website if you can create one. And sometimes there's really, like GoDaddy, you can create a website, come up with the name.com, create a website on GoDaddy. They have a step-by-step process that you can go through that's really simple to just create generic websites that you can drive traffic to. And it's really not expensive. Another thing is bird dogs. Bird dogs. Recruit bird dogs, because here's what a bird dog is going to do. Bird dogs are, we call them bird dogs, I don't even know where that name came from, but they're actually people that scout neighborhoods for you. So these are people, and like I told you about the pizza delivery man. Well, you say to people, you know what, and I love college students for this, because college students are always looking to make extra money. So I'll recruit college students and say, look, this is what I'm looking for. I buy houses. This is what I'm looking for in vacant properties. If you find me a property and I buy it, I'll pay you $1,000. And I do at closing. So bird dogs are a great resource to have, because then these are people that are always looking for properties for you because they want to make that $1,000, right? Especially college students, they really want to make the money. So if you can get some bird dogs, your mailman is a great bird dog. Offer him $1,000. He knows where all the vacant houses are. Your pizza delivery guy, college students, people that just need extra money. It's a great way to have other people working for you, but you're really not paying them unless they bring you something. So bird dogs are great to have on your team. Billboards, this is a bit expensive, but you can rent a billboard that says I buy houses. You can rent a billboard, and this is one that I've never done, but I've seen people do it, where you can actually rent the billboard that says I buy houses, have it on your public highway. That's just another way to go ahead and advertise things. Town meetings, if there's a town meeting of something going on in your area, attend one of the town meetings and let people know what you do. Talk to people, mingle with people, give out your cards, and let people know that you buy houses, and see what kind of leads you get from that. It's just definitely a great way to get some leads. Let me make sure there's nobody trying to get in here. Okay, I can hear my granddaughter. I was just saying I have my granddaughter tonight. My daughter took my grandson to urgent care because his ear hurt. So I do have my granddaughter. So if you hear her, I'm sorry, I just heard it out there. If you hear her, I'm sorry. But I am a real person just like you guys. I have grandchildren too. Okay, so let's see what the next one is. Town meetings, direct mail. Crafting a letter. And this is where your yellow letters is going to come in. Yellow letters, if you go back to the yellow letters, right? Crafting a letter and sending it out to people is definitely a great way to get some leads. So let's say, the yellow, they say yellow because that's the paper that's just the brightest, where people are going to want to read it more. If it's just a regular standard white letter, sometimes they tend to just throw it away. But if it's brightly colored, it doesn't have to be yellow, it can be orange or whatever. You put that in the mail, and you have to put a stamp on it if you're going to mail anything to people. You can't put it in their mailbox. You have to put a stamp on it because it's actually illegal to put things in people's mailboxes. So the yellow letters are great, and it could be simple as, they say with a yellow letter to write it in a red pen because it makes it more attractive. Just state, I noticed that this house is vacant. Are you looking to sell? I buy houses, put your number on there. It's just a little way to send mailings out to people. And I have gotten properties through that as well. So, but you can go and you can Google yellow letters, and they'll give you some sample messages. You'll see some sample messages on Google of what you can put on the letters. So you might want to do that as well. And you can actually get yellow letters printed up too. There's yellow letter places where they'll actually print it up to where it actually looks like your handwriting. Like it's really strange, but they do that now. Okay, so then we have networking with professionals is number 14, networking with professionals. People who work in real estate, accountants, lawyers, appraisers, home inspectors. If you can network with these people and try to give them your information, let them know, if you come across a house, I'll pay you $1,000 if you bring me one. So networking with people, especially people that are in the real estate field, like your appraisers or your home inspectors or chimney inspectors or whatever, is a great way to get the word out there that you buy houses. Plus, by offering them $1,000 if you close on the property, that makes them more motivated to bring you the leads. So that, money talks, bullcrap walks. I mean, that's the old saying, right? So anybody that you come across, look, you bring me a lead, I close on it, and I give you $1,000. You send me a property, I close on it, and I give you $1,000. That $1,000 is going to talk volume to these people. So you really want to get started and do that. Number 15 is insurance companies. Okay, guess what? Insurance companies deal with fire damaged houses, uninsurable houses. They have these come in all the time. Network with these insurance companies and let them know that you're interested in buying this type of houses if they come across it. And again, offer them the fee. Because insurance companies, they're always dealing with people come in and uninsurable properties. Like down here in New Jersey, we have a lot since Hurricane Sandy. We have a lot of uninsurable properties because now they're requiring that the properties be lifted off the ground before they're insured. They have to be lifted up on things so that they don't flood again. And a lot of people haven't been able to do that, so they've walked away from the properties. Where we could come in as investors, make the bank a short sale price, do the work ourselves, lift up the property, and put it back up for sale. So insurance companies are great resources to have. Property management companies. This is my favorite because I've actually closed some houses with property management. Let me make sure nobody's coming into the den. With property management companies. And I'll tell you what. So if you have like foreclosures in your area, right? Houses that are vacant and in foreclosure, they often have this little paper in the window, right? That paper that's in the window of those foreclosed houses have the management company information on them. They're the people that maintain the grass and manage the property. Call them. Say, look, I noticed that this house you're managing, you're maintaining this property. I'm hoping that maybe you have others. I'd like you to send me the list of the properties that you have. Because guess what? They maintain the properties for the banks, so they have direct contact with the asset manager that has that listing or that's taking care of that property for the bank. So property management companies are great to call to get in with, to let them know that you're interested in the property that you found the paper on, but not only that, if they have any more properties, that they could hook you up with. And also property cleanouts. The bank hires people to clean these properties out, right? So the property cleanout companies are good to connect with because they're cleaning the property out for the bank. Well, guess what? Somebody had to hire them to do that cleanout, which means that contact is who you want to get a hold of. So property cleanout companies are good, and you can find cleanout companies on Craigslist because a lot of them are doing bank cleanouts as well. So connecting with them is a good way to find properties. We have Department of Code Enforcement. They're the people that usually connect you. Department of Code Enforcement, they're the ones that will contact you if you put bandit signs out because it's illegal, right? But they're also the ones who know where all the vacant properties are. So sometimes you can call the code enforcement people and ask for a list of vacant properties in the area because they keep a list of these vacant properties because now they're charging these vacant property fees to the bank. So they have direct contact. So they have a list of all these vacant properties in your community. So if you contact your local code enforcement, you can ask them for a list of vacant properties in your area, and then once you get the list, you can go ahead and again, look up your tax records, see who owns it. Sometimes the list will have the owners on there, but if not, you can Google that information on the tax records of the property and contact them. And it goes back to the yellow letter and sending out the mailing. The MLS is number 19. That is my favorite, of course, right? Because the MLS to me is it's just filled with, as I said before, it has everything in there that I need. So I don't even go to any of these other ways anymore because I focus so much of my time just finding properties on the MLS and making offers on them. That's just my thing. And the MLS, another thing is with the MLS too, if you connect with an agent, sometimes they can send you what's called expired listings, which means these are houses that were listed for sale because a listing lasts, I think, 6 months, but never sold. So they expire. So sometimes they have these expired listings, right? That they can give you a list of expired listings, and then you can reach out to these listings and say, look, I noticed you had your property for sale at this date. You didn't sell it. Are you still looking to sell? So sometimes that's a great way to generate leads with people who were not able to sell their properties for one reason or the other. Number 20 is just definitely, word of mouth advertising. It's just letting people know what you do. So you want to be able to let the world know that you buy houses. You want to tell everybody that you meet, everybody that they know that this is what you do, right? You buy houses because you don't know if later on down the line that somebody's going to come to these people and say, you know what, I'm so stressed out. I got this house. I got to do something. Well, guess what? I know somebody, and they'll remember you right away and connect you with that person. So that is the list of 20 ways to find properties. There are other ways like estates. I mean, things that are not on this list, like finding estate properties, through the nursing homes. Sometimes if you go to the nursing homes and you build a relationship with the nursing homes, give them your card and say, if anybody in here needs to sell a house, because sometimes they need to sell the house to pay the bills or the nursing home bill. This is what I do. I buy houses, and sometimes that can give you some really good estate leads just by connecting with the nursing homes. So this is my 20 ways to find properties. I don't know. Do you guys have any questions about any of these ways to find properties, to find real estate? So if you guys have any questions, now is the time to ask me. Whew, I just went through all 20 of them. So I'm curious to see if you guys have any questions on all that. I know that was an earful, but I wanted to make sure I went through the whole list. Do you guys have any questions for me? I mean, don't stop at the MLS, guys. Keep pumping it. You need to keep that pipeline full. You want to keep using, use a couple of the methods to see, how, which one works. Karen said, what about postcards? Definitely, Karen, I'm sorry. Postcards, go back to the mailing. Postcards go back to the direct mailing that you're going to use. And you can have postcards made up at Vistaprint. I like Vistaprint because they're reasonable and they're quick. They get it to me really fast. Yes, I'm going to make this list available in the den, okay? So in the real estate den, in your resources page, I'm going to put this list. Many of you I thought had it because I emailed it to everybody. But if you didn't get it, I can make it accessible in the real estate den. So I'll put it, I did email it to everybody, but if by any chance you didn't get it, check your spam folders because sometimes I end up in there. But if you didn't get it, I'll make sure the link is posted on the resource page in the den where you would go for your resources. So anything else? You guys have any more questions for me? And keep pumping it, guys. Don't stop at just the MLS or don't stop at just mailings. Try different ones to see which one works for you. But then when you find that one that works, you need to run with it. You need to run with the one that works for you and perfect it and make it the best one that you have, because but try different ones to see which ones works, because you're not going to know which one works until you try them out to see the response that you get, because guess what, every area is different as far as response rates go for these different methods. I just happen to I live by the New Jersey shore. I'm very close to Atlantic City, and it's very congested here. There's a lot of people here, but there's also a lot of wholesalers, and there's a lot of investors here. We are overcrowded with everybody. So, we have a lot of competition here. So a lot of these things that I tried to do mailings with or yellow letters, somebody was already doing it. So I wasn't getting the success that I wanted with it because there was too much competition of too many other people doing it, right? But that's why I geared in on the MLS, because nobody's touching that, right? Everybody's afraid of the MLS. So I am mastering the MLS in my area because there's nobody else doing it. Okay, Karen says, what about cold calling? Now, Karen, the cold call comes after you find the lead, right? So what I'm showing you is how to get the leads, and then the cold call will come. So for example, let's just say you found a lead through one of your mailings, right? Or through Craigslist or whatever, then you're going to have to call them up and start and ask them questions, about the property. So that's where cold calling comes into play. So definitely, and that comes into play, say you're driving for dollars, right? And you come across an address of a vacant property, right? Then you go in and you research the person who owns it. Well, then you can go to zabasearch.com. That's zabasearch.com. And you can find their phone number. And then you can cold call them and definitely ask them to, ask them the questions of if they want to sell or not. And those questions are on the list, the 20 property list. I did put those questions in there. So if you didn't get the list of 20 ways to find real estate, you definitely want to look at that. Okay, Jay is going to a meetup meeting. Good for you, Jay. Definitely go to these meetups, go to these investor meetings, start rubbing elbows with these investors, because that's your bread and butter, and you want to start getting to know them. You want to start getting that warm conversation going. So these meetups are really going to benefit you. Roger says your access to the MLS is because you're an agent, or what method to add? No, My access to the MLS, I don't have access to the MLS, but my agent sends me the MLS listings. Like I'm on her automatic listings. So she continuously sends me new listings that are under a certain price range that meet my criteria. So it's not that I have access to the MLS, but she sends me all the properties from the MLS. I do have an agent that I work with. Okay, let me see if anybody else is trying to, I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody trying to get into the Den Facebook page. I know a lot of people aren't in the Den, and I'm trying to get them into the Den Facebook group, but it's been very tough. But no, I'm not an agent. It's just that my agent sends me the listings that I need for the properties. Now, when I send you this list of 20 ways to find properties, if you don't have it yet, and you do get it, on the list, it's going to have all the websites that you need to find the property information. It's going to have a list of all the websites you need to find the owner. There's a sample phone script for the cold calling, which will be in the 20 ways to find property list. I put a sample script in there. It's so much easier to follow a script when you're cold calling somebody, because it's a really hard thing to do, is cold calling. It's not easy. It's very, I don't know how to say it. It's very uncomfortable, right? So, but if you follow a script, which is what I'm going to give you in my 20 ways to find properties, if you follow the script, you're definitely going to be able to keep that cold call going longer. Okay. Jay says, would you target market by group or target market by what, Jay? You didn't finish your sentence. I need to know what that says. Do I pay the agent for the MLS? No, my agent gets paid when I close on a property. So I don't pay her for the MLS. When she sends me these listings, it's so that I'll close on one of them, right? So she's going to always send me listings. Well, my agent, I close about 15 properties a year with her. So she's always sending me these lists. But no, you're not paying the agent anything unless you close on one of those properties. And then, of course, you're going to pay their commission. Well, you don't pay their commission. The seller pays their commission. But they're going to get paid through that product. Okay, would you target market by group or target market by product? Okay, when you say target market by group or product, I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. Your target market has to be the market. I know Gina has told you guys, and she shared with you how to research your market to see which areas of your market is the hottest, right? Your target market is the market that you've researched, that you know, and if you haven't watched Gina's video, go back and watch it in the Den, because I believe the replay is in there. But your target market is you want to, for example, my real estate market, I'm in Gloucester County, New Jersey, right? And it's huge. But there's only certain pockets of Gloucester County, New Jersey that I know are good investment areas. You need to kind of hone in on those pockets in order to find out what area has the most inventory for you. Okay, Jay says he's a veteran. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, I get that you're a veteran. But I don't know, I don't understand, Jay, what that has to do with finding your market. I'm trying to understand your question, so I don't know how to answer it, because I'm not sure I understand what you're asking me. So if you want to just elaborate on that a little bit, I'd be glad to answer it for you. Okay, let's see here. Anybody else have any more questions for me? Now, Laborio, you said you were going to go check to see if you got the list. So I don't know if you did or not. So go check and let me know. But again, I'm going to make it available in the Real Estate Den for you guys. You definitely want this list because it has great resources on it, not only for the list of 20 ways to find properties, but you have in there, you're also going to have your phone script and stuff. So Jay, I understand you said you're a veteran, sweetheart. So you're asking me how to zone in on the market. I'm trying to figure out what your question is. So you're asking me, like, do you go in the market by product to talk to veterans where I am? Okay, so trying to understand. So to talk to veterans, I don't know, are you saying to try to find properties for veterans or try to buy properties from veterans? Like, it's really the veterans. And here's the thing with veterans, it gets really shaky because they have these VA loans on them, right? So a lot of times these VA loans are hard to negotiate, especially if you're trying to do a short sale or something on them. So I'm not sure exactly what you're asking me. I want to answer you. All right, Laborio didn't find his list. Okay, that's fine, Laborio. I'm going to, now Laborio, let me ask you, did you get tonight's email when I emailed out the list to let you know about this live chat? If you got that email, then I know you got the 20 property email, but I don't know what happened to it. But I'll definitely put the link in the Real Estate Den so that you guys can access it. All right, Laborio says most are assumable. Oh, so Laborio says you can assume a VA loan. I never knew that. So you just taught me something. I didn't know. I never really dealt with them, so I never knew that you could assume those loans. I didn't know that. So maybe Laborio needs to connect with Jay. Your PC froze up. Oh, I know that happens to me a lot too. Okay, so does anybody have any more questions for me? I'm sorry, I'm getting this cough. There's a cold going on in my house here, and I can hear my granddaughter out here like raising holy heck. So does anybody have any more questions for me? I'd love to be able to answer them. I don't know what happened to everybody tonight. I don't see any member requests. I don't know what happened to people. So I'm trying to, you're welcome, Jay. I want to help you. I want to help you do this. I really do. I'm just trying to understand exactly what your question is. And again, you guys can contact me in the den and I'll be glad to answer your questions even after this. If something pops in your head and you want to ask me, just contact me in the Real Estate Den and I can go ahead and answer your questions. Okay, so is there anything else? Any more questions on ways to find properties? Okay, you did get an email. Good. Jay wants to know if anyone in the house has been to China. I have never been out of the country. It's funny. I've always been afraid to go out of the country because I don't know what's out there. I kind of like having my feet on the ground in the U.S. I've never taken a trip out of the country. I know it's pretty sad to say, but I've been to almost all the states, but I've never explored outside of that. Okay, so guess what? I'm going to make sure you have the list, Laborio, at the end of this, either in the den or if I got an email to you, send it to you, you will have the list, okay? Okay, so anybody have any more questions for me on 20 ways to find your real estate properties? And after this, I don't want to hear that you can't find properties because I just gave you 20 ways to do it, and I'm telling you, if you do a couple of them, see which one works for you. There are properties everywhere, especially, and here's the thing about estate properties. I don't know if you guys know this. You might, a lot of you might. But we're at the end of the baby boomer age, right? Because what happened is, right before World War II, or I should say right after World War II, all these women got pregnant, right? All the guys were home from the war, everybody got pregnant. We had the largest baby boom in history. And right now, all those baby boomers are in their 70s, 60s, and they're retiring or they're getting put in nursing homes. And guess what's happening? Their estate properties are being left vacant or being left to families. We are in the end of the baby boomer age, the biggest baby boom in history right now. Now's the time you want to start grabbing those estate properties. I know that sounds horrible and morbid, and I am so sorry if it does. But what I'm saying is, there were so many babies born after World War II that we had a huge baby boom. And that was, what was the year of World War II? I don't even know. But that was so many years ago that those people now are in their older ages. They're retiring. Some are going into nursing homes. So their homes right now are going to their families. And here's what happens when people are left in estate property. And I've seen it many, many times, and it broke my heart because there's families that are already struggling with their own homes, right? So they have their own house, they're trying to pay their own mortgage, yada, 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 but now they're handed their parents' home. Well, now they have to pay if there's a mortgage on it, they got to pay that. They got to keep up with the taxes. They got to keep up with the upkeep. And a lot of them can't afford to do that. So they're ready to just sell this property because it's going to help them. And not only that, they've got funeral expenses for their loved ones and all these other expenses that come in. It becomes a real hardship for the family when there's an estate property left to a family who's barely making it. And if you can come in and help that family by buying that property, my God, you become their knight in shining armor, because you're coming in, you're buying the property, or you're agreeing to buy the property to find a buyer, right? So you're helping them unload them of a burden, because a lot of times these properties also need, like, they can't put them listed for sale and get a decent price for them because they need repairs, right? Because some of them are worn down or they're outdated. So listing them on the real estate market, they'd have to do the repairs to get them to pass the FHA guidelines and the different guidelines, and a lot of them don't have the money to do that. So if you come in to buy this estate property, don't think you're being an inconvenience to people. You're actually helping people, because so many people are being left these properties that they can't afford to maintain or keep up with, and they don't know that they can sell them as is. So some of them walk away from them. So you're actually helping them with these estate properties. Okay, so yes, I'm going to send the list out. Last year, Laborio bought 4 estate properties. Good for you, Laborio. Yeah, I mean, there's so many out there, right? I mean, right now I'm zoning in. I have this community that I've been investing in. It's actually it's a lake community. So what happened is, back in the day, people had all these 2-bedroom bungalows on this lake community, and they were like their vacation homes, right? The older people bought them. They were vacation homes. Well, now this lake community isn't a vacation community anymore, and people are actually living there and buying these homes. Well, there's so many homes that were left in the estates that are sitting vacant for years, so they're the ones that I've been kind of picking up in this lake community. So it's been a really good resource for me. Lake communities are great because I'm being able to get these properties. Half of them don't have mortgage balances on them, so I've been able to get these estates at really good prices. And I've been renting them out. I've been holding them because in the lake community, I've just been holding them and renting them. Okay, so we have a lot going on. I'm hoping you guys learned some things tonight. I'm hoping that I taught you a little bit more about how to find properties, hoping that you'll run with them. Again, Vistaprint is a good resource to get you some of the, the flyers or the postcards or the car magnets. So now the letter that you send, like I was saying to them, for the yellow letters or the letter examples, you can Google yellow letters, and sometimes, let me see if it'll come up, because sometimes you can Google them and you'll get some sample ones on what to write on them, and sometimes they work out really well. Let me see if I can find it on here. See if there's any on there. Sometimes if you Google it, and then you go to, let's say, Google yellow letters, and then go to images. And if you go to the images, you're going to have a ton of examples for what to write on your yellow letters. So that's definitely a good resource to use right there. All right, guys, so I hope that I taught you a little bit. I'm going to go take care of my granddaughter because I can hear that she is causing holy heck out there. She's 4 and she's a total diva, and she just thinks she rules the house, and she keeps everybody in check. So I can hear her out there running around. Now, I think my daughter's still at urgent care with my grandson. But again, I am a real person with a real life, and I have real grandchildren. I have 6 of them, actually. So I'm a working grandma. But I hope I gave you guys a little bit of input tonight. I'm hoping that I helped you out a little bit to try to find some properties. I know the next chat for next week is going to be Jay St. Hilaire. He's going to be doing chats on new construction. So I don't know if any of you are interested in new construction. It's definitely a great lucrative strategy to use for investing. So starting next week, that's what he's going to be doing. But again, guys, I offer one-on-one mentoring as well. So I don't know if you feel that the real estate den is just not enough for you. I do offer one-on-one mentoring on my website at carolstinson.com. I know that, some people can't afford it, but I do offer it to where I just physically mentor you. You and I will do a coaching sessions over the phone, and I will go into your market with you, and I will coach you over the phone on what to do and how to input stuff and how to, it's a little bit more intense than the den. So I do offer it at carolstinson.com. If you ever feel you want to take advantage of it, that's fine. But I just want to make sure that you know that it's there. And, you know, guys, I hope that you kill it in real estate this year. I hope you use these 20 ways to find properties to find some properties and get yourselves some deals. Definitely want to keep the pipeline going. And I'm hoping that you are doing the MLS. I don't know how many of you have found your agents, your REO agents. I know some of you were looking and working with some agents from my last chat. So I'm hoping that you guys found some of your REO agents or some of your properties through the MLS. Again, you can message me in the den, and I will talk to you guys soon. Okay, I'm going to go take care of her before she strangles somebody. So I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. And, you know, again, message me on the den, or you can send me an email at carolstinson@carolstinson.com. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.